Greetings everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the classification of kingdom Plantae. When it comes to the two major classifications, we are having the earlier classification and the um, newer one classification. When it comes to the earlier classification, Whitaker's classification, in which we have basically the division of plants into two major groups on the basis of the production and non-production of seeds, such that we are having two major groups. A number one group is what we consider as the spermatophytes spermatophytes and one which are considered as non-spermatophytes. When it comes to the spermatophytes, these are also called as phanerogames. Phanerogames. These are known as phanerogames. Phanerogames. And non-spermatophytes as cryptogames. Alright, and after that we are having further classification of spermatogames and phanerogames. Spermatophytes are basically those which have the capability of producing seeds, and non-spermatophytes are those which do not produce seeds. When it comes to non-spermatophytes, we are having the classification into those which produce embryo, known as embryophyta, and those which do not produce embryo, known as non-embryophyta. And the one which do not produce embryo are known as non-embryophyta, which are known as thallophyta. 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 So we can also say that thallophyta are the first non-vascular plants. Thallophyta we are having all of the algae and all of the non-vascular plants, of course non-vascular, non-spermatophyta. So we can say that first non-spermatophyta, first non-vascular plants, and first plants according to Whitaker's classification were the thallophyta. While when it comes to embryophyta, one which produces embryo, we are having classification into two major groups: bryophyta, bryophyta, and second one includes pteridophyta. Pteridophyta, right? Pteridophyta. When it comes to the bryophyta are the first non-vascular plants. Oh, sorry, bryophyta are the first embryophyta. Bryophyta are the first embryophyta and first non-vascular, non-spermatophyta, and first plants according to the Whitaker's classification are thallophyta. Now, bryophyta are first embryophyta. After that, from algae, we had the first embryophyta evolved known as bryophyta, and from the bryophyta we had the first vascular plants evolved known as pteridophyta. These are the first vascular plants, and from the pteridophyta we had the evolution of the spermatophyta, such that from the non-spermatophyta were evolved from non-spermatophyta known as pteridophyta, and pteridophyta were the one from which the first spermatophyta were evolved, now named as gymnospermy. 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 Gymnospermy, which is under the category of spermatophyta. And that gymnospermy further evolved. That gymnospermy further evolved into a modified spermatophyta, such that gymnospermy were those plants which were spermatophyta, seed producing but non-flowering plants. And after non-flowering plants, we had plants which were flowering, and these flowering plants were named as angiospermy. Angiospermy. And these were the first flowering plants, angiospermy. Such that from the gymnospermy there was evolution of angiospermy, and from the pteridophyta there was evolution of first spermatophyta, gymnospermy. And Here we have angiospermy again in the category of spermatophyta. Now further classification of angiospermy into monocot and dicot. Such that from the monocot there was evolution of dicot, and these were the first flowering plants in which there was development of monocot, from which there was evolution of dicot. After that, when it comes to bryophyta were further divided into three major groups, which included Hepatici, liverworts, Hepatici commonly named as liverworts, Muscae commonly named as mosses, and Anthoceti commonly named as hornworts. Anthoceti commonly named as hornworts, right? Hornworts. And when it comes to the pteridophyta, we are having Psilopsida. Further, we are having Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Lycopsida, and then we are having Pteridopsida and Sphenopsida. Pteridopsida and Sphenopsida, Sphenopsida and Sphenopsida, right? Now, uh, this is what we consider as the earlier Whittaker's classification. But when it comes to the newer one classification, the new classification, which is a modified version of Whittaker's classification, Margulis and Schwartz classification, we are having classification on the basis of the vascular and non-vascular plants, such that the vascular plants are considered as bryophyte, which are also considered as the first plants, bryophytes, first non-vascular plants or first embryophyta, and then we have tracheophyta, which are the vascular plants. Tracheophyta, which are the vascular plants. Now, pteridophyta are the first vascular plants, from where there was evolution of the um spermatophyta, which are involved now under the category of tracheophyta. Such that bryophyta here is the first non-vascular plants, which involve the three major categories: Hepaticopsida, Muscae, and Anthoceropsida, liverworts, mosses, and hornworts. But when it comes to the tracheophyta, these are the one from where we had the vascular plants. So these first vascular plants were tracheophyta, and among that, the first vascular plants were among the category of tracheophyta. The first vascular plants are pteridophyta, such that tracheophyta are divided into spermatophytes, seed producing, and non-seed producing, non-spermatophyte. Now, spermatophyte and non-spermatophyte. Non-spermatophyte involves pteridophyta, which involves all of the non-pteridophyta, which involves the three major, five pteridophyta, which involves the four major groups: Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, and Pteridopsida. And these are considered as the first non-spermatophyta and first vascular plants. First non-spermatophyta and these are considered as the first vascular plants only. Sorry, first vascular plants. After that, from the pteridophyta, there was evolution of spermatophyta, among which we had gymnospermy, and angiospermy, gymnospermy and angiospermy, among which we had gymnospermy and angiospermy, such that from the first spermatophyta gymnospermy, which were non-flowering, there was evolution of the first flowering plants, angiospermy, which had seeds as well as flower, known as angiospermy. And angiospermy further were classified into monocots and dicots, such that from the monocot there was evolution of the dicot, right? And these are the characteristics, these are the common points I wanted to discuss. Yes, and this is all about this basic classification. Hopefully we will meet again another video.